one bullshit PlayStation trophy.
The Baron has fallen, long live the hero trophy in Nikoderiko, the magical world, requires you to beat the final boss without taking any damage, meaning you can't get hit once. And as this is the final boss, you can imagine this is going to be one of the trickier trophies in the game to unlock. And one of the main reasons is because this fight is long, and I mean long. It starts out with a short 3D platforming section as you run down towards the boss, and then you have a 2D sidearm fight with the boss, which is really dragged out battle that will take quite a while to get through because it takes ages for you to get a chance to be able to hit him. After doing that, you then have this chase sequence where you have to climb up while avoiding this acid to get to the second part of the fight, where you'll fight the Baron again in a 2D section, and here there's some deadly traps that will easily get you hit if you're not careful, and the whole thing will take about 6 minutes to beat. However, this could be even longer or shorter due to the RNG nature of this boss fight and whether or not he'll do certain attacks multiple times before you can get a chance to hit him. So trying to string all of this together was pretty brutal and took me quite a while to get it down, and I was just failing constantly at this because every time I would replay the fight, something would go slightly differently. He would do a different move at a different point and it would kind of catch me off guard, and those lasers in the second set of the fight were just really tough to try and figure out a way to dodge them every time. And while at first this boss fight seemed like a good challenge, the more I replayed it trying to get through without taking damage, the more I realised just how BS this fight is, because this level just seems to be broken. The more you replay it, the more BS you'll encounter, like this one here right at the beginning. Look at this attack. So here, for some reason, he's fired 2 shots at the same time, so I've got a small and a large plasma ball that I can't dodge under or jump over, forcing me to get hit and making me restart the level again.
Now, isn't it?
On one of my attempts, another BS thing happened because I got past the first stage of the fight taking no damage, and I was feeling pretty confident at this point, but during this climbing sequence, something weird just happened because this area can glitch out quite a few times. You'll see bombs floating in the air and enemies falling down, but here, as I got up to this section, the game just froze. Yep, that's right, it just crashed, and I had to turn off the game and restart. So that was another failed attempt due to the game just screwing me over. And a lot of the times when I'd get to the second stage of the fight, the boss wouldn't even appear up here at the start. He would just be invisible. I could hear him fighting, but I couldn't actually see him, and that was really off-putting too. And just imagine going for this, right, and you've spent all this time practicing it, and then when you're trying to beat him without taking damage, the boss is just screwing you over because he just refuses to do that move where the bombs drop down so you can actually hit him. So you're having to stay in this first phase for even longer than what you would normally do on other runs. And then when you finally get past it, you'd finally learn how to go up this chase sequence without taking any damage, and you eventually perfect that. And then when you get to the final section of the fight, you're then just screwed over by something that shouldn't really happen. Like this here, when I jumped on this enemy, only to find that somehow I got hit, but the enemy didn't even die. So that failed another run, so I had to start all over again and go through all of that crap once more. But all of those frustrations, the long-winded nature of the first phase, those annoying lasers in the second, was nothing compared to what happened on this run. So for this one, keep an eye on the hearts in the top left of the screen. I'm going to fast forward this now really quickly to just shoot through the whole of this run so you can see just what happened to me when I was trying to get this trophy. What you're seeing here is a perfect run where I take absolutely no damage from anything. I get through the whole boss, the whole platforming sections perfectly without getting any hits on me, and for some reason when I defeated the boss, the game just said no, F you, you ain't getting this trophy, and it didn't give it me. So here you can see I'm about to get the final hit on the boss, and if you've been watching those hearts, you'll see that they never went down. I never got hit at all. And then after killing the boss, at this point, I was happy. I stood up out of my seat and I was like, yes, finally, I've got it. But that happiness was really short-lived because the trophy just didn't pop at all. And I don't really know what happened, but this trophy just glitched on me and didn't unlock, even though I'd beaten the requirements. So I didn't want to just leave it there, so I immediately went back in and tried it again. This time I played as Nico, and I was going to just, anytime I failed, quit right out of the level instead of restarting and hope that that would work instead. So for some dumb reason, these boss fights start with these like 3D platforming sections, but this is literally just a corridor that you run down, smash a few crates and gives you hearts, but you've already got full health at that point, so you never really need them. And I really don't like those sections. It's just wasting my time at that point. So here is the start of the fight, and this first phase of the fight is the most annoying because it's the one that's the most random. Like, he can do all sorts of things in this, and it's never really the same every time you play it. So one of his main moves you can see here is the throwing of the sword, so you just have to simply duck and then jump over him as he charges. And then there's this move here where he shoots these like plasma balls at you. You basically duck under the big one and then jump over the smaller ones. And he might not do this move now, but if he does, this is where you get the chance to hit him. So once you see the debris falling, you just have to basically dodge out of the way of it and then get ready to grab the bomb. But you want to wait for him to do his move first, whether it's throwing the sword, so you need to duck, or whether it's doing his jump and butt stomp. So you want to just make sure you're aware that he's going to attack you before you can probably throw that bomb at him. So once you throw the bomb at him, he then starts to do the same moves again, but this time it generally seems to be doing it for a lot longer. The butt stomp's fairly simple to dodge, but you've also got to make sure you're aware of the fire and you don't get hit by that. And not every time when I was doing it would he do this next move so quickly after the first one. So I did get kind of lucky here, but you can see here I have to sort of dodge under him as he jumps to pick up the bomb and throw it at him, and then I get out of the way, wait for the next move, but he immediately goes into this debris thing again. So this run was a lot shorter than a lot of my other attempts. A lot of the other times it was really annoying because he would just throw the sword, do the butt stomp and do the plasma thing over and over again before I'd finally get another chance to hit him. And when you're trying to just get through this quickly to get back to where you were, when he delays it so much, it becomes really annoying. So this section here is quite glitchy. Sometimes when you do it and you climb up that first rope there, you'll see a bomb that's just floating in the air, and that might mean that it's about to glitch. So just be aware of that. So you want to pick up that barrel to kill that guy and just run into him with it, and then you want to be quite quick going up here to be ready to slam down to kill this guy, and then do the same with the other one as he comes underneath the hatch. And then you want to just climb up here, and then there's a thing that will spit from the ceiling here, so you want to wait for that, and then wait here to jump onto this spinning guy and take him out quite easily. And then you just want to hang behind that guy and then jump on these handlebar things to dodge those incoming bullets. This bit looks hard, but when you're actually doing it, it is quite easy, and I'd get through it quite often without ever getting hit once I got the hang of it. So now we're into the final part of the fight, and the worst move he does is this laser attack, because if you run, you'll likely just be too slow and get hit, so you have to do the slide move. But if you do it too often, you'll find yourself in a corner and you'll be backed into the corner and the laser will just trap you. So you've got to be really precise with what you do. I found for the lasers, the best way to do it was to get into a far corner of the screen and then slowly walk across to the other side, and then after a few seconds do the slide, or if you want, wait in the corner for the lasers to appear, delay your movement for a little bit and then move, and you should be able to do 2 slides to dodge the 2 lasers and get into the corner without being hit. The rest of his moves are pretty easy to dodge. The only other tricky one would be when he spawns some enemies, because some of these can be awkward. Like these bouncing ones, you want to make sure you jump when they are at the bottom of their bounce, because if you wait any longer and they get higher, you'll likely just get hit. So here you can see the laser thing. I waited in the corner for a bit and then did 2 slides to get out of the way of them. His plasma attacks are really easy to dodge. When he does his bullets up in the corner, you just stay on one side, run to the other, and that's it. Do the slide and then go back to the other way. So all of those attacks are really easy. It's just stringing it all together, that's the tricky part, and the length of this fight just kind of puts you off a bit. So now he's doing this move where the energy goes across the floor and you just have to stand still and jump over them, and then you can get your chance to hit him again. And now we're in the final section of the fight. So I would always, after hitting him, get into the corner of the screen just in case he did that laser move again, so I was in the right place to be able to dodge it. So that's another good tip I would give you. Even if he spawns those enemies in, you'll bounce up off the box and you don't seem to get hit, so you still got a chance to move away from them. So you can see it there, look, I didn't get hit, and I had enough time to move into the middle to be able to fight and deal with these enemies. So it's always a good idea, for as soon as you've survived any of these waves of enemies or attacks, to get into the corner, to be ready for this laser attack here, so that you can safely get across the screen without being trapped and hit by a laser. And if you can dodge the lasers in this fight, then you've pretty much done everything you need to do, because that was the one thing that I was stumbling across every time I got here. And there you go, we've dodged his attacks, and I've managed to beat this boss again without getting hit, and this time, thankfully, the trophy did indeed pop. Though it did make me wait an anxiously long time before the trophy would actually pop. And I did actually think at this stage that the trophy just glitched again and didn't unlock for me. But here you go, on the end cutscene, the trophy popped and I finally got it. So yeah, this was a challenging trophy that was made even harder by all of the BS with the level just glitching out, crashing on me, and the cheap moves, the awkward lasers to dodge, and the poor collision detection with some certain enemies. So for that reason, the Baron has fallen. Long live the hero trophy in Nikoderiko, the magical world, gets a BS rating of